Number 5. Tourist attractions in Italy. Roman Colosseum. Ancient Rome's huge amphitheater, built by Emperor Vespasian in AD 80, held as many as 55,000 spectators. Deadly gladiatorial and wild animal fights were often held in the Colosseum, but it was used for other events as well. A ticket to the Colosseum includes entrance to the adjacent Roman Forum and Palatine Hill, among Rome's top ancient sites. The Colosseum's top level and underground passages are open only on specially guided tours, also including general admission, such as the Dungeons and Upper Tiers tour available through Select Italy or Dungeon, third level, and Arena floor offered by the Roman Guide. Tower of Pisa. Many people assume that the Leaning Tower of Pisa leans because of age. However, the tower actually began to lean as early as 1178, when only 3 stories had been built. Unfortunately, the choice of location had something to do with it. It was anchored upon shifting clay and sandy soil, which was not ideal for a 14-ton structure. The ornate Romanesque tower is one of Europe's most famous towers. To get to the top, you'll have to climb almost 300 steps. Other monuments that should be visited along with the tower are the adjacent white marble cathedral, for which the bell tower was built, and the 12th century baptistry, the largest in Italy. Ancient city of Pompeii. Nearly 2,000 years ago, Pompeii was a bustling city located in what is now southern Italy. But in the summer of AD 79, the nearby Mount Vesuvius volcano erupted. It spewed smoke and toxic gas 20 miles into the air, which soon spread to the town. Almost overnight, Pompeii, and many of its 10,000 residents, vanished under a blanket of ash. Pompeii can easily be visited as a day trip from Naples or from Sorrento and Amalfi Coast. The train station in Pompeii is a short walk from the excavations. If you'd like to visit Pompeii from Rome, consider a guided day trip with transportation, such as Select Italy's Lost Cities, Pompeii and Herculaneum from Rome. Number 4. Tourist attractions in China. Great Wall. The Great Wall of China is one of the greatest sights in the world, the longest wall in the world, an awe-inspiring feat of ancient defensive architecture. It was originally conceived by the Emperor of China in the 3rd century BC as a means of preventing incursions from barbarian nomads. The length of the Great Wall of China is 21,196.18 kilometers, 13,170.7 miles. The Great Wall of China's history began in the spring and autumn period, 770 to 476 BC, and was last rebuilt as a defense in the Ming Dynasty, 1368 to 1644. The China National Tourism Administration has rated several sites along the Great Wall of China as AAA tourist attractions. Some of the best tourist attractions along the Great Wall of China include Badaling Great Wall, Shanhai Pass, Baisha Mountain, and Yanmen Pass Scenic Area. The Terracotta Warriors and Horses Xi'an. It is a sight not to be missed by any visitor to China. The museum covers an area of 16,300 square meters, divided into 3 sections, Number 1 Pit, Number 2 Pit, and Number 3 Pit respectively. Number 1 Pit is the largest. There are columns of soldiers at the front, followed by war chariots at the back. Number 2 Pit, found in 1976, is 20 meters northeast of Number 1 Pit. It contained over 1,000 warriors and 90 chariots of wood. Number 3 Pit looked like to be the command center of the armed forces. It went on display in 1989, with 68 warriors, a war chariot and 4 horses. With their top knots or caps, their tunics or armored vests, their goatees or close-cropped beards, the soldiers exhibit an astonishing individuality. A second pit inside the museum demonstrates how they appeared when they were found. Some stand upright, buried to their shoulders in soil, while others lie toppled on their backs, alongside fallen and cracked clay horses. Life-size terracotta figures of warriors and horses arranged in battle formations are the star features at the museum. They are replicas of what the Imperial Guard should look like in those days of pomp and vigor. Beautiful karst landscapes in the world. Guilin. Guilin boasts the most beautiful karst landscapes in the world. The top things to see in Guilin are all related to the landscape and rural scenery. The karst caves in Gillen are huge in size and offer a majestic display of underground features, such as stalactites, stalagmites, stone pillars, stone curtains, and more. The most famous caves are Reed Flute Cave and Crown Cave. One of the best ways to enjoy the karst landscape is taking a leisurely cruise on the Li River from Gillen to Yongshua. The river is like a green ribbon winding among the green peaks, along which pinnacles, bamboo forests, caves, and fishing villages are scattered. Over the past 40 million years, these rocks have been weathered, dissolved, and eroded by rain and flowing water. The product is a landscape with thousands of majestic peaks, with numerous sharp, narrow valleys, and with many caverns and sinkholes beneath. Some of the underground caves stretch for many kilometers. Number 3. Tourist attractions in United States. The incredible natural site of attraction Mount Rushmore. The presidents whose faces are carved here include Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt. There is a presidential trail located near the bottom of Mount Rushmore which provides better views of the carvings. The memorial is located near Keystone in the Black Hills of South Dakota, roughly 30 miles from Rapid City. Each year, approximately 3 million tourists from all over the world visit Mount Rushmore to experience this patriotic site. Today, the wonder of the mountain reverberates through every visitor. The four great faces of the President tower 5,725 feet above sea level and are scaled to men who would stand 465 feet tall. Grand Canyon National Park. Located in Arizona, Grand Canyon encompasses 277 miles, 446 kilometers, of the Colorado River and adjacent uplands. The immense Grand Canyon is a mile, 1.6 kilometers, deep, and up to 18 miles, 29 kilometers, wide. Layered bands of colorful rock reveal millions of years of geologic history with unmatched vistas from the rim. The south rim is open 24 hours. The North Rim is closed for the winter. Teddy Roosevelt called the Grand Canyon one of the great sights that every American should see. And 100 years ago, on February 26, 1919, Congress underscored Roosevelt's travel recommendation by designating the Arizona Canyon a national park. But the history of the 277-mile-long canyon runs much deeper. Humans first encountered it some 12,000 years ago, as the earliest Americans spread across the continent. By the 16th century, a few Spanish explorers began passing through. And in May 1869, the one-armed Civil War veteran John Wesley Powell, future head of the U.S. Geological Survey, led 9 men on an unprecedented boating expedition down the Colorado River. Number 2. Tourist attractions in Spain. Spain is a modern traveler's gateway to the century-old fortresses, cathedrals, Islam quarters, and forest of columns lining the skyline. The country exudes a vibrant local scenery that captivates millions of visitors every year. A tour around Spain reveals the well-tucked cultural heritage sites and landmarks that are unique in the world. Combined with fun-loving locals, pristine blue Mediterranean waters, and delectable Spanish cuisine. Below is Spain's best tourist cities. Barcelona, Catalonia, seaside city on the North Mediterranean coast. Famed for its bars and cafes, architecture and atmosphere. Madrid, region of Madrid, Spain's capital, with a wealth of museums, palaces, monuments, and other attractions. Toledo, Castilla-La Mancha, less than an hour from Madrid, amazing historic city, full of historic monuments and museums. Granada, Andalusia, former capital of Moorish Spain, a truly unique city, with its historic sites. Number 1. Tourist attractions in France. Begin with the Eiffel Tower, the modern emblem of France. Then discover famous masterpieces of art at the Louvre Museum. Spend a day pretending to be royalty at the elegant Palace of Versailles. Save time for leisurely gourmet meals. Traditional French gastronomy has been inscribed on the UNESCO list of intangible cultural heritage. Admire the country's irresistible charm and learn about the best things to do with our list of the top attractions in France. 1. Eiffel Tower. Key symbol of Paris, the Eiffel Tower is a feat of ingenuity as much as it is a famous landmark. This structure of 8,000 metallic parts was designed by Gustave Eiffel as a temporary exhibit for the World Fair of 1889. 2. Château de Versailles. The Château de Versailles emblematizes the grandeur of the French monarchy prior to the fall of the Ancien Regime. This UNESCO-listed monument represents a glorious moment of France's history under the reign of Louis XIV, known as the Sun King, when the palace set the standard for princely courts in Europe. 3. The Château de Versailles emblematizes the grandeur of the French monarchy prior to the fall of the Ancien Regime. This UNESCO-listed monument represents a glorious moment of France's history under the reign of Louis XIV, known as the Sun King, when the palace set the standard for princely courts in Europe. 4. Cathedral Notre-Dame de Chartres. For more than 8 centuries, the magnificence of Chartres Cathedral has inspired the faithful, and some say this sublime sanctuary has restored belief in the doubtful. The UNESCO-listed cathedral exemplifies the glory of medieval Gothic architecture,